one. Hey everybody, this is Wendy Kim of Your Dream Realized Business and Financial Coaching. Super excited that you guys are watching this video for our Inspiring Entrepreneurs series. And I'm so excited to have our guest today, Luci Lampe, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. I met her fairly recently, and I was so interested in her website is called sexymamamovement.com. And I thought that was like a really cool name. And I got to have coffee with her and hear a little bit about her story. And I was really inspired as an entrepreneur. And so I thought it would be great to have her as a guest on the show today. So let me introduce her briefly. Luci is a mom of four, author of Achieving Sexy, and founder of the Sexy Mama movement. And so tell me about that, Luci. Tell me your story. How did you come about coming up with this movement, and what exactly is the Sexy Mama movement?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. So the Sexy Mama movement is a community where moms come to create the sexiest lives, to have the relationships they want, the bodies they want, the lives they want, the businesses they want. It's a lot about taking personal ownership of our lives and making it happen.
Mm-hmm. And so when you kind of started to come up with this idea, what was maybe the problem that you were noticing that you felt you could help with this type of business?
The biggest looming problem was overwhelm, frustration, feeling stuck, burdened. And so what I get to do now is show moms how to go from overwhelm to freedom so that they feel like they get to do the things, get to parent, get to be in their business. It's just a very big paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm. So is the Sexy Mama movement, is that about a focus on how, like, getting healthy and fitness, or what areas does that entail?
So our belief about what sexy really means, it's something that comes from the inside out. So it's not necessarily about being a certain dress size or a certain weight on the scale. It's about being fully present in our lives and having this complete confidence in who we are and really owning that. Because that is where sexy comes from. And when we have that, we take better care of our bodies, we respect and honor and value ourselves, and we show up differently into every part of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell me a story about a person whom you worked with and what kind of transformation they had going through your program?
Oh, yes. Let's see which one. All right. So there was one in particular who was really inspiring to me, and she was completely overwhelmed and just burdened. It's that mommy overwhelm that we hear a lot and we see and we experience.
Yeah.
But when you add entrepreneurship and financial responsibility and all of that to the mix, it can feel even more heavy.
Right.
So there were just some things that fundamentally changed in her mindset as far as how she saw her life, and she began finding opportunities in the challenges. So then that snowballed into losing weight. It snowballed into getting more clients, into having a more intimate relationship with her husband. So, and this is a common thing, because what I'm seeing is that as these moms begin to commit fully 100% to one area of their lives, it builds their confidence in themselves, and it makes them want to translate that into the other areas. So that's a huge payoff for me, because I get to be a part of that.
What are some maybe like tips or or maybe life hacks that you would have for a mom who's feeling just completely overwhelmed in her life?
Cool. Well, I mean, to be honest, so we all have the same pains at the foundation. They just show
Mm-hmm.
up differently. One of the simple things that it's so simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. That has really transformed a lot of these moms' mindsets is to not make assumptions. To not make assumptions about anyone, their intentions, who they are, what they want from you. To be direct. But along those lines, if you are going to make any assumptions, to assume positive intent, because that other person has some positive intent behind what they're doing. And the behavior might not reflect it very well. The behavior might be way off. But if you can ask yourself, stay in the question, and get really curious about what is their need? What do they need right now? What is missing? And that will offset so many arguments and conflicts that are, sometimes conflict is necessary, but sometimes we can avoid it by, controlling what's happening in our heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I think it's really easy to let someone's comment, if we take it the wrong way, it can bother us for an entire day or some type of interaction that we have. But if
Yeah.
we maybe to ask more questions to that person and clarified, we might actually discover that they had a different intent. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and that would save a lot of energy, I'm sure.
Yeah, even asking yourself questions, just getting really curious. What assumptions am I making? What might this other person need, feel, want? What am I missing? We're always constantly asking ourselves questions. It's just like making them better quality questions.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the projects that you're currently working on?
Oh, I'm so excited about. Okay, so there are two big things on my radar right now. The first is the Sexy Life Academy, which is my 8-week online coaching program for moms who are raising a family while leading a business. So this is for entrepreneurial moms. We work on things like self-concept, vision, identity, emotional mastery, communication, connection, all the really meaty stuff that applies to everything in life. And so that I'm closing enrollment for this upcoming group tomorrow evening. We begin on Thursday. And then the event that we're putting together, this event here in San Diego on September 30th. And it's called the Sexy Mama's Day Out. So it's a whole day of fun connection and personal development, some dancing, some painting and wine and photography, massage. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's all the stuff swirling in my head comes back to those two things right now.
That's exciting. So if I were a mom feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and I were to undergo your Sexy Mama Academy program, what would be some of the areas that would be covered in that?
So all of these topics are applicable to all the areas of life. But what I'm seeing is that the impact has been not only on their businesses, but on the way they see themselves, their self-confidence, the way they interact with other people, which is all their relationships, and just their way of being, which is fundamentally where the big shifts happen. Because from there, they can see more opportunities instead of challenges, and learn and see them as gifts. Same thing with when they notice emotions surfacing in themselves, to get curious again about that, what that means, what they can learn from that. And it's a change in perspective. So, there's no really easy answer for it, but it literally touches all the areas of their life.
So it's kind of like health, relationships, raising children, parenting.
The parenting, marriage, their health. So when they see like, oh, I do need, in order to get my vision of, let's say if one of them, like my vision is to be present with my daughter and to be, more intimate with my husband and have open communication. In order for me to fully live that vision, I have to be healthy. I have to take care of myself. I get it. So when the vision is big enough, then all those little things, those are just little building blocks. They're just steps that are a part of the process. They're not the thing. So when we make it all about just the weight loss, or we make it all about just the promotion or the number of clients, then we miss it. We miss the big idea. We make it about the vision, and then what is it going to take to get that vision?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that because it's true. Like a lot of times we tend to focus, oh, if I had more money or if I had more time, or then my life would be great. But like you're saying, it's not just kind of like a magic bullet. We need to look at the different areas of our lives. Is there a particular area that you find moms tend to overlook a lot?
If you would have asked me that question 3 years ago, I would have said health and fitness. But legitimately, the biggest area that tends to fall by the wayside are relationships. Because when you're in the survival mode of like trying to figure out myself, I'm so stressed, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm frustrated. Why am I not doing better? I can't do my morning workouts. I feel like a failure. And they go through these cycles of just beating themselves up. And there's so much negative chatter going on. So when you're able to not deal with that, but overcome a lot of that in yourself, then you can overflow and you can be more focused on what's happening outside of you. And that is where the connection happens, the communication opens up, and relationships improve. For me personally, relationships is where it's at. And because the quality of our relationships it says a lot about our fulfillment in our lives. If you're not fulfilled with where your relationships are, then, imagine what impact does that have on you? So, so that's huge. That's huge for these moms.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're right. Like people tend to focus a lot on money and time, but they tend to sacrifice their relationships. I know before I started my own business, I would often put my husband on the back burner. Like I would meet the kids' needs, I would meet these other needs. Is that something that you see quite often with wives or moms?
Yeah. And really, especially with their marriages, if they are married, and also their parenting, because what they notice is that they're not being the role models they want to be. They're not setting the example they want to set. And then they're not communicating or connecting with their husbands. And so that affects the kids. That also, it's like this cycle that continues. So yeah, it's a very common thing for that to happen. Like, this is more important. I got to take care of this, put this fire out. This is urgent. You can wait because we're committed to each other. And like, you're good, right? We're good. You understand? Okay. But then those little things, they build up and they build up. And before you know it, there's this rift. And then you have to work so much harder to repair the relationship and rebuild the trust.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What do you say to people or moms who are like, I just don't have enough time? Like I've got my work, I've got my parenting, my marriage, I've got all this stuff and I just do not have enough time. What would you help them with in that situation?
That's one of my favorite things, because the illusion that we don't have time, is an illusion. Because we have time for the things that we really value. We have time for the things that are important to us. And really what it comes down to is just, usually it's a matter of just not having priorities in place and values identified. Because once you know what your values are, what's more important to you, what you stand for, it's like this magic thing that happens, and you're able to identify the things that fit into that. instead of just feeling pulled in all these different directions. Like there's not enough of me, but there is. I mean, we have the same hours in a day that Oprah does, or any other uber successful, on whatever terms you want to call them successful. It's just, for me, it's more about energy management than time management. And that's something I really believe in, because if we had all the time in the world and we didn't have the energy, mentally, physically, emotionally, we're not going to make the most of that time. Most moms can have the time. It's just, it's the motivation and the passion and the inner energy to make it happen and commit.
And how would you say that most moms are not managing their energy well?
Well, again, it comes back to values. It comes back to values, and then figuring out what is the area of my life right now. Like, what's the one thing that if I really work towards mastering that, it would have a huge ripple effect on the rest of my life. And then you laser in on that one thing. But really comes back fundamentally to the vision. Because if you don't know what you're working toward in the first place, then you're going to have a really hard time. Like, why am I doing this? And if you know why you're doing it, and when the going gets tough, you tap into that and you remember the vision and the purpose, that keeps you focused. But if there's no vision, that makes sense. Other people's agendas take over.
Yeah, having the why be very clear so that you can revisit that when there are challenges. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you, along the way, if being an entrepreneur has been pretty challenging, or has it kind of been very smooth for you? What has your experience been?
I just want to laugh about that for 5 minutes, because there's it's been really freaking hard.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard somewhere that entrepreneurship is the ultimate personal development plan.
Yeah.
Because you will just, you learn so much about yourself, where your blocks are, where your mindset is off, your blind spots. I mean, first of all, I could never do this alone. And so I tried for a long time to do it alone, and that was not working for me. So, and I feel like a lot of us mom entrepreneurs are doing it alone. And, not just logistically, like I have my husband, to support and take care of the kids while I'm doing stuff, but to know that somebody gets your vision and stands with you 100% in that, and is like committed to seeing you get that vision. And that's why I believe in coaching so much, because that's what that has done for me. And that's what I do for other mompreneurs. So it has been really difficult. And it's like this, I don't know if you've seen this drawing too. It's like entrepreneurship is like, and then it's like, there's this huge dip, and then you're like, oh, I'm amazing. And in the same hour, you're like, I'm a failure. So it's a crazy ride. And I know that for me personally, I had to be a certain person. I had to become a certain person to make this work. So in order for me to get my vision of other moms getting their vision, then I had to get past my own crap. I had to get out of my own head, and I had to really just kick my own butt and have other people kick my butt so that I don't quit and I keep the vision in mind. So to answer your question, yes, it has been challenging.
No, but it's great. Like I totally relate to you. I have my own business coach, and obviously I do business coaching for other people, but I have a mastermind group I'm in, and I have other entrepreneurs, including yourself, who are there to support me. And if it weren't for those people in my life, nothing would be happening.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels isolating and lonely. Yeah.
So what would you say to a mom who is maybe thinking about starting her own business, but is feeling somewhat intimidated or fearful?
Mm. First, I would suggest that she really gives herself permission to want, to just have the desire build. Like, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want it? What does it look like when you get there? And it's not that you have to have all the answers right away, because we won't. And things will clarify and come together, and you'll connect the dots along the way. But the vision is never really just about the business. It's about, what does this give you? What do you get out of it? What does your family get out of it? You know, what's this really about? What do you get when you get there, and what will others get when you get it? So, and again, it's clarifying that vision and starting there, instead of what's going to make me the most money, what's everybody else doing, you know, what's the most popular thing right now. Yeah, because it's all a very personal thing, and those are the people who really make it and make a big impact.
Okay, yeah, that's really good. I like that a lot. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Even though we had a few technical snafus along the way,
We made it.
for your patience. How can people get a hold of you?
So on the website, sexymamamovement.com, they can sign up there for my mailing list. It can also, there's my contact info there. They can reach me by email at info@sexymamamovement.com, or on the Facebook page as well for Sexy Mama Movement.
Okay. And yeah, of course, you guys know you can always reach me at my website, yourdreamrealized.com. And if you are a mom who's interested in starting your own business and needs support and need empowerment, please contact me there. But thank you so much, Luci, for your time.
Thank you,
and for being a guest and being an inspiring entrepreneur. And I am super excited to work together and partner on some exciting ventures that we can share with all of you in the future. So thanks everyone for joining, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.